everyone. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Cannabis Tech Talks, brought to you by Polyscience and Summit Research. We're here at MJ BizCon, and I'm Patricia Miller, Managing Editor with Cannabis and Tech Today. So I'm very excited to sit down with our two guests today. We're talking with Seng Robertson and Paul Weaver with Boston Beer Co. Paul is the head of cannabis for Boston Beer Company. How strange does that sound? And Seng is the technical director of cannabis research and development at Boston Beer. Together, you co-founded TeaPot. Is that right?
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, Boston Beer Company. We make like Samuel Adams, Twisted Tea, Angry Orchard, cider. We also make Truly Hard Seltzer. So we're
some of my favorite brands.
Yeah,
there.
some of real hit makers in the beverage alcohol space. And we run a cannabis R&D division based in Canada to focus on cannabis-infused beverages. And our first beverage is a line of iced teas, and we call it TeaPot.
I love that. So, Seng, tell me about your role in the development of this. Is it a group brainchild?
Yeah, I think this is one product where the brand and the product really came together. It's like amazing. You can't get a better name than TeaPot, and the product, the feedback has been amazing. So in developing TeaPot, yeah, it was a group effort. I can say that, Boston Beer, we know hard tea with the Twisted Tea brand. To make TeaPot, we had the input of a certified tea sommelier, Eric, and then we had a certified Ganger, Dan, on our team. So you marry like the tea expert and the cannabis expert, and we came out with this amazing product. So
we had the tea done before we knew what to call it. Yeah. We made the drink first, and then we had to figure out what to call it. So
right. Well, at least you knew you had a great product, and I'm sure it helped to know what it tastes like when you're developing the brand name.
Yeah, Trish, we're based in Canada, which is not America, and regulations are a little different, but they're kind of no different than they are state by state. So if we're building our long-term product, we just want to make sure the drink tastes awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
We can figure out what to call it, figure out what to label it, figure out where it's going to be packaged or shipped, but at the core, TeaPot tastes amazing, and we're really excited for it.
So tell me about some of the tech and science that goes into making a drink that tastes more like tea than pot, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure. I think the cannabis input is important. So the first tea that we launched is with Pedro Sweet Sativa, and the strain does matter because it's a way that we help make the product consistent. So, you don't want one batch you might taste cannabis and next batch you might not taste cannabis. So this helps us keep it consistent and a consistent experience for our consumers every time. So
Seng specifically crafted it. We forget, I think, here at the circus of MJ Biz that not a lot of people actually like the smell of weed.
Yeah, or
I love it. You could lock me into a grow room and I'd be happy as a clam. But the vast majority of people do not like the smell of weed. So when we make a product like TeaPot, it was very important, and Seng hit a home run in making a product that doesn't taste or smell like cannabis at all. It just tastes like amazing iced tea. And we think that that's really important if we're going to try and expand the category beyond just the passionate enthusiasts.
Well, so I'm interested. You said you use the same strain, and I know, at least in the States, finding strains that are actually truly the same strain every time can be a challenge. What's a way that you've worked around that or found a solution to that?
Yeah, definitely working with a partner. So if you have one partner for the cannabis input, that's very helpful. The other thing is reviewing the C of A's before accepting a lot. So making sure that we know what we're putting into the beverage from the cannabis standpoint is super important to us.
Yeah.
You also, I think where that ambiguity comes in is things like, the Blue Dreams and Durban Poisons and Jack Herrera's that are pretty old and been around a while, and you don't really know kind of that lineage with authenticity. The strain we're using for TeaPot, at least the first one, is called Pedro Sweet Sativa, and it's actually a legacy strain from the medical market in Canada. So there's a pretty good track record of seed to sale for that genetic strain, and we feel pretty confident that it's the same strain over and over and over again because it's been coded that way for so long. So been since the beginning days of medical cannabis in Canada.
That's fantastic. And so are you finding ways to complement the terpene profile of that strain with the profiles that are in your tea choice?
Yeah, definitely. Tea it lends itself well to cannabis. It's when you think about tea is a complex sensory profile. So you have a lot of the woody, the herbal, and cannabis is that. So I think it's not difficult to put cannabis into tea. What's difficult is putting the right cannabis with the right tea and the quality of it. So yeah, and we definitely have a lot of. We benchmarked it against, cannabis, other cannabis products, non-cannabis products, because it's important to benchmark just non-cannabis, and that's comparing yourself. We do sensory panels where we, evaluate it against non-cannabis products to make sure that it tastes great. So we have some really good, robust programs to develop cannabis products.
Yeah, I think it's also like a little bit. We do with it like there is inherent cannabis taste that we have to embrace and work with as an ingredient.
Sure.
But for TeaPot, we're not trying to make it taste like limonene or beta caryophyllene. Like that's not really the MO for that brand and for that consumer. So we would love it if it had minimal cannabis taste. But if you search for it, you'll find it. But it's not prominent in TeaPot. But as a ingredient that we have to manage and we have to embrace, like it's there for sure.
Well said. So I know it's a 5 milligram per
5
can,
milligram
right?
THC.
And so I think that's a
Modest.
good, reasonable.
Not too bad.
I think
Not
that's
too
a
high.
good approach, right? For sipping with your friends or and being able to not overindulge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Well, Boston Beer makes products that are like for moderation. We make beers and ciders and coolers and teas that are all about social consumption. We don't really make a lot of super hardcore alcohol products either, right?
Yeah.
And TeaPot is designed to be shared not shared as a can, but shared experience with your friends. So just like sharing a beer. So we think 5 milligrams is a responsible number. I know it might not move the needle at all the passionate MJ BizCon goers here, but I think 5 milligrams is a good sessionable number that we can build a story around and share with your friends.
I would say another thing about the 5 milligrams is you want an enjoyable experience. You want to be able to drink a nice beverage, take your time sipping in it. I can say I've tried some 100 milligrams here in the States where, to get 5 milligrams, it's just one little sip. And it's so unsatisfying just to have one little sip, whereas this, you get to enjoy the experience of having a beverage.
I was thinking this the other day, like when you eat a gummy,
Yeah.
like I think we all prefer if the gummy tastes great. But if it doesn't, it's like 2 bites, and it's right. Like it's not. It's a very brief consumption experience.
That's a good
When
point.
you're drinking a drink, though, like it's a bit prolonged, and it better taste good. Otherwise, you're not going to finish the can, right? So, like it's cannabis drinks. I think if you think about it, are like the longest method of consumption because it takes a few minutes to go through a can at the very least. So it better taste good. You better make sure that it's something you can sip over time.
100%. It's personally why I haven't gotten that into the cannabis beverage market. I haven't found many that I feel are tasty enough for me to want to
We're here to present you with a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Toronto in December, ice-cold Toronto. Come on up.
I accept.
Try TeaPot. I think you're going to love it. I think we're really proud of it.
Yeah.
It tastes amazing. We're building it off of our credibility making twisted tea. And we think we've got something really special on our hands.
I'm excited for that. So I know it's just in Canada. What are your plans for the future? Are you planning on bringing it to the States? When can we look forward to something like that?
Yeah. Well, the Boston Beer Company is a publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange with a lot of shareholders that are focused on us selling our core business in America. And I think that's what we're really doing is betting on the future of the industry. So Canada is a market where we can do what we need to do to make sure that we've got an amazing product. But have no mistake, like we're an American company, we are the Boston Beer Company. And when we have a path that we're feeling comfortable with, yeah, absolutely.
That's exciting. So you've got one flavor currently. Are you in R&D for others?
Yeah, did you want to tell them about my favorite flavor?
Yes, absolutely. Like we want to make sure that we have a beverage for different occasions, and so like we have one that has a bit of caffeine in it, under the legal limit, and we also have some in the development for different times of the day, more wind down. So one is blueberry chamomile, which is Paul's favorite, and we're so excited to launch it. It is a wind down occasion. It tastes great. It's less sweet, and it's just perfect for that occasion of winding down.
Yum. Those are two of my favorite flavor profiles.
We call it the Good Evening Iced Tea. It's made with blueberry chamomile and a strain called Black Sugar Rose, and it's just the perfect evening iced tea. It's not that sweet. It's really, really nice and relaxing. So yes, we have more in the pipeline that we're really proud of as well. But the first one, this Good Day Iced Tea, it's great. We can't wait for you to try it.
So when are you rolling out the blueberry chamomile?
I think that's a 2023 sneak peek right there. So yeah, I think in the spring maybe of 2023. Yeah, in Canada there's pretty long cycles of product calls. But
Sure.
but yeah, we'll be
So
in
exclusive. This might have been the first time we mentioned it.
breaking
So
news,
exclusive.
yeah, breaking news on
Alright,
Cannabis
I'm
Tech
so
Talks.
glad you shared with us. That's exciting. So we'll wrap it up. I know you guys are on your way to another panel. Is that right?
Yeah, we're going to talk about American companies building businesses in Canada, like we're talking about right now. So
Perfect.
no, it's a great time to be in the industry. It's a great time to be in Canada right now. So yeah, we're just here to spread the love.
Well, do you have any maybe tech takeaways for our audience before we conclude?
Yeah, I would say, the technology is there to make a great tasting beverage. And I think to grow the category, we can't be putting bad tasting beverages out there. We want a product that people choose, not settle for. And I would say the technology is out there. It's been developed. So let's all put great tasting products out there and grow the category.
Beautiful
Yeah, it does.
said.
Yeah, I think we're all kind of in this to grow the denominator. So let's make sure we put quality products out there that we're all proud of, that can, create a new ritual for consumption, the future of consumption. And I think the product has to be stable. It's got to be safe. It has to taste good, but it has to be responsible too. So I think we have to kind of manage all of that if we want to grow the bottom line.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said about larger operators with experience in making stable products, consistent products coming into the space. I think it's going to help with adoption and
Absolutely.
And creating.
We have a
those
lot to
products
learn from
that
each
are-
other, and I think we're really bringing these two worlds together. Beer weed.
Yeah,
Beer weed.
I love it. Two of my favorites. Well, thank you so much for sharing your
Patricia,
insights.
thank you. Thanks for having
Thank
me.
you.
Really a
Thank you for having
pleasure.
us.
For our listeners out there, of course, if you enjoyed hearing about this emerging tech and these exclusive announcements, be sure to follow Cannabis Tech Talks wherever you get your podcasts. And from our booth here at PolyScience Summit Research, this has been Patricia Miller, Managing Editor, Cannabis and Tech. And we're signing off. Join us next time and stay elevated.
Hey, hello, I'm Tommy Chong from Cheech and Chong. Wait, you didn't think people would know who I am? Durachill. This is Durachill. This is Durachill. This is Durachill. No, hey, I don't talk like that. You want me to sell this? Buy it. Try Durachill or else. If you want something really nice in your laboratory, buy Durachill. You can't go wrong.